Hey everyone! While my emulated algorithm grid from the previous two videos is working hard and gathering data to show me which distances are the most lucrative, and I guess I don't have to babysit them, I am taking up another commitment from my list, which is expanding my vocabulary with Moontrader. A few trading situations, which I will cover in just a bit, made me think about looking at performance filters to try and figure out how to use them and what they are good for. From what I understand, this is a rather new feature, and I have only a very basic idea of what it is supposed to do. The first impression is that it is some sort of low-level auto-stop or auto-pause. So let's go and figure this out. As I have stated in the very first video posted to this channel, in any feature I'm looking for a couple of things. First of all, what it is, how it works, but most importantly, what exactly it can be used for and in what situation. So I will describe two real scenarios here that happened with my active markets algorithms that traded real money. First, we have this. Check out this group of trades. Do you notice any pattern? I think you have guessed it. Among a bunch of profits, we have 3 losses that negate absolutely everything. And all of them are on this one coin, LQTY. After it hit me the third time, I simply banned it via the blacklist on both sides. Yes, the blacklist is growing and growing. However, what if this ban could be effected automatically as soon as the software detects that one particular coin or one particular algorithm is dragging my P&L down? Now, also here in the same screen actually, we have the reverse situation. This coin right here, SNX, was performing unusually great within quite a short period of time. Within less than 10 minutes, it brought in 6 profits. Something very favorable to my specific algorithm was happening there at the time. I was at the terminal right then and there, watching it all unfold. After profit number 6, I quickly made a separate algorithm specifically for this coin with a higher order size to try and capitalize on this activity. Unfortunately, it was too late. There had been no new trades, neither in the active markets nor in my dedicated algorithm. The opportunity was lost. What if the software could actually sit there and watch out for this kind of thing and get the order size up while the action is still hot? Both of these scenarios could be dealt with performance filters, well, from what I understand so far. So let's first check out what these filters actually look like. Since I'm only getting familiar with this for the first time, I'll probably do a real implementation a bit later, as much more things have to be considered, especially with the increased order size scenario. Let's first figure out the how, and the why and when will come a bit later. Here is the performance filter screen in the algorithm. The structure of it has basically 3 main sections, which I prefer to call the source, the condition, and the effect. The source describes what data the filter is looking at. The condition describes what the trigger should look like within that source data. And the effect describes the specific action being triggered. A very important note is that whereas the source of the data could be pretty much anything, including this algorithm, any other algorithm, any traded pair within those, or manual trading or liquidations, the effect, on the other hand, only refers to and can only happen within this specific algorithm. This is actually a cool way of linking the performance of different algorithms together, but it clearly uses only the pull strategy instead of the push strategy. Cheers to all you logistics nerds out there. There are 4 tabs at the top: Global by Symbol, Algo Symbols, Algo Total, and Custom Key. From what I understand, the first 3 are merely specific instances of the Custom Key tab, meaning that if you fill out the custom settings in a particular way, you would achieve the same results as with one of these 3. Currently, the performance filter is working only based off of P&L in the source, otherwise known as total USDT. So far, this is the only performance metric available. It could make sense to also use the ROE for that, to account for order size differences, but I guess at this point the total USDT makes more sense as the first obvious step. Maybe ROE will come later, who knows. Next, the Validate By section lists the conditions which the filter is looking for. The default is value. It means that as long as the source data is greater than the value specified, the algorithm will keep on working with all the coins included in it. As soon as the total USDT of whatever source drops below the value, we go straight to the action section. Action section, that sounds fun. Okay, the range works in a similar fashion, but the source must stay within the range, not higher, not lower. Essentially, if we put infinity as the maximum range, then we'd get the same effect as when using the value option. Important to note is that this is not a relative value, but an absolute value, unlike what you have in the auto-stop filters. So if I currently have a balance of 222, to avoid losing more than 5 USDT, in the auto-stop filter, I would put -5. But in the value here, I would put 217, assuming that my source is the global account on all coins. Another difference is that the auto-stop filter automatically adjusts the baseline up as you earn more profit. But here in the performance filter, this is a fixed number unless you change it manually. This, of course, is not a perfect analogy because of this little thing called time frame. This is a so-called sliding time frame, meaning that if we have 1 hour here, at each instant we are looking at the performance within exactly 1 hour back. Let's tie that in with the value. So if you have -100 and 1 hour, it means that you expect the source total not to go below -100 USDT within any hour period sliding. Now let's say you put 100 here with a plus. It would mean that you absolutely expect the source to make at least 100 USDT each hour. Otherwise, you'd want to do something about it. Can't we all dream? Below, we have a selection of actions. Either stop till next run, which is exactly what it says, stop until I run it again myself. Or you can pause the thing using something called sleep time. In my mind, this is not a particularly accurate name for what it does. Basically, the thing sleeps for this number of seconds, then it opens one eye to check whether the conditions are still in effect. If they are, then it goes back to sleep. But if the conditions have changed and are now within the acceptable range, then it wakes up and starts up. I would have called it something like condition check frequency or something to that effect, but what do I know? Seems clear so far. But here is where it starts getting a bit more confusing. Notice how I made a point of saying the source instead of algorithm or anything else more specific. This is because you really need to understand what source specifically you are looking at and what the object of the action is within this algorithm. Going back up, let's look at global by symbol. It means that this filter is looking at all coins individually across your whole account. Like here in the performance tab, if you were to filter by global, you would see the data source. Once the filter sees that the total global P&L of a specific coin does not meet the conditions you specified, it stops or pauses trading only for this specific coin and only in this specific algorithm. Got that? If there are, say, 3 such coins, it pauses all 3 within this algorithm. But these very coins continue being traded elsewhere in your algorithms unless you have used the same kind of filter in all those other algorithms. The source is global, but the effect is local. Alright, Algo symbols here are a bit easier to grasp. The source looks at all the individual coins within this algorithm and stops or pauses those which are performing not as desired within this very same algorithm, leaving the other ones alone. The algo total here is the closest in its mechanics to the auto stop, but at the level of individual algorithm. If the total performance of this algorithm is not as expected, then this whole algorithm stops or pauses. That is a lot to take in, at least for me. I'll dig into the custom key section another time, as it is a whole nother can of worms. I've looked at the mechanics as I understand them, and now I need to go and think about the practical applications of all of this. Well, besides the obvious, which is stopping or pausing a badly performing coin or algorithm. If you already use performance filters, or especially know some interesting use cases for them, I would really love for you to let me know. A good way for this would be dropping me a message in my Telegram chat. It's pretty quiet there right now, but I hope we can shake things up and have some meaningful discussions. Not only about performance filters, of course, but about anything else related to what this channel is about. Based on the few comments that I have received under my videos, I believe that there are some really experienced people here watching, and it would be an honor for me to have you in my chat. You can find the join link in the description. Alright, see y'all.